We all know people that seem naturally manipulative, emotionless, or even narcissistic. Today, we're delving into a riveting psychological concept known as the Dark Triad personalities. This trio of traits, Machiavellianism, narcissism, and psychopathy, is often associated with individuals who display manipulative, self-centered, and emotionally detached behaviors. They embody a darker side of human nature that is both fascinating and disconcerting. Intriguing, isn't it? So let's dive deeper into these dark corners of the human personality. First, let's explore Machiavellianism, a personality trait that's as intriguing as its name. Named after the Italian diplomat Niccolò Machiavelli, this characteristic is often associated with manipulation, cunning, and a relentless focus on personal gain. Now, you might be wondering, what does it mean to have a Machiavellian personality? Well, imagine a chess player, always thinking 3 steps ahead, always strategizing, always planning. But the game they're playing isn't on a checkered board, it's life. Machiavellian individuals are known to be calculating and deceitful, using manipulation as their primary tool to achieve their goals. They're typically unemotional and detached, which allows them to make decisions based on rational self-interest. They have a knack for reading people, understanding their weaknesses, and using this information to their advantage. The world, to them, is a giant chessboard, and the people in it are merely pawns to be played. They're not necessarily evil, but they're certainly not saints either. They're just pragmatic individuals who believe the ends justify the means. As the renowned psychologist Dr. Jordan Peterson once said, Machiavellians are people who have made the decision that it's acceptable to sacrifice other people for their own ends. This quote encapsulates the essence of this personality trait. It's not about malice or hatred, but about a cold, calculated strategy for success, no matter the cost to others. But remember, this is not a black or white trait. It's a spectrum. We all have a bit of Machiavellianism in us. It's that little voice that tells you to play the game at work or to keep your true feelings hidden for strategic reasons. But for those who are high in this trait, that voice isn't just a whisper, it's a shout. Machiavellianism, like the other aspects of the Dark Triad, is a complex and multifaceted personality trait. It cannot be boiled down to good or bad. It's about strategy, manipulation, and an unwavering focus on one's own goals. With such a strategic and manipulative mindset, Machiavellianism is indeed a dark trait to behold. Moving on, we encounter narcissism, a trait marked by an inflated sense of self-importance and a deep need for admiration. Narcissism is characterized by grandiosity, a belief in one's superiority or uniqueness that is often out of touch with reality. This sense of grandiosity can manifest as exaggerated achievements and talents, and often leads to a sense of entitlement. Narcissists feel entitled to special treatment and unquestioning compliance with their expectations. They believe others should cater to their needs without question. This entitlement can lead to exploitative behavior, as they see others as mere tools to satisfy their desires. Another defining trait of narcissism is a lack of empathy, an inability to recognize or identify with the feelings and needs of others. This makes it difficult for them to form genuine and deep connections with people. They are often perceived as cold and dismissive, further isolating them from meaningful relationships. Dr. Jordan Peterson once said, "The narcissist, in his grandiosity, destroys the very relationships he craves." This quote vividly illustrates the self-destructive nature of narcissistic behavior. A narcissist's inflated self-perception and disregard for others ultimately lead to the erosion of the relationships they so desperately desire. Narcissism, with its grandiose self-view and lack of empathy, certainly adds a dark tinge to the triad. Finally, we step into the chilling world of psychopathy, a trait characterized by persistent antisocial behavior and a lack of remorse. It's the final facet of the Dark Triad, and perhaps the most unnerving of them all. Psychopathy, in its essence, is a blend of impulsivity, callousness, and irresponsibility. It's a trait that often manifests as a blatant disregard for the feelings of others, coupled with an indifference to societal norms and rules. This trait isn't just about breaking the rules, it's about not even recognizing their existence in the first place. The impulsivity of psychopathy often leads to reckless behavior, as individuals with this trait tend not to consider the consequences of their actions. They act on the spur of the moment, driven by immediate desires and urges. This impulsivity, however, isn't just about thrill-seeking or spontaneity. It's a darker, more dangerous impulsivity that can lead to harm, both for the individual and those around them. Callousness, another cornerstone of psychopathy, is characterized by an utter lack of empathy. It's a cold indifference to the feelings, rights, and sufferings of others. It's an inability to feel remorse or guilt for one's actions, no matter how harmful they might be. And then there's irresponsibility, the third pillar of psychopathy. Irresponsibility in this context isn't just about forgetting to do your chores or neglecting your duties. It's a consistent pattern of disregarding obligations and commitments, of failing to live up to societal expectations and standards. Dr. Jordan Peterson has spoken extensively on the societal implications of psychopathic behavior. He says, psychopathy is a personality disorder, not a moral judgment. It's an exploration of the extreme end of human behavior, where empathy and morality are absent. It's a stark reminder of the capacity for harm that exists within us all. Psychopathy, with its lack of remorse and antisocial behavior, completes this dark triad of personality traits. It's a chilling look into the darker side of human personality, a side that challenges our notions of empathy, morality, and social responsibility. To wrap up, the Dark Triad personality traits are a fascinating study in the darker side of human nature. Unveiling these characteristics, we began with Machiavellianism, a trait marked by manipulation and a focus on personal gain, often at others' expense. Then we delved into narcissism, a trait characterized by an inflated sense of self-importance and a constant need for admiration. Lastly, we explored psychopathy, a trait that embodies a lack of empathy and remorse coupled with bold, disinhibited behavior. These traits, while individually intriguing, become even more compelling when intertwined, forming the ominous Dark Triad personality. These traits cast a shadow on human behavior, revealing the complex, often hidden facets of personality that can be both captivating and troubling. Remember, understanding these traits is not about labeling, but about gaining insights into human behavior. Until next time, keep exploring the human mind.